Alright, so welcome back to the video. As always, before we get into it, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. And now that the NBA season is over, well, the regular season, and we seen that the Russell Westbrook and Lakers thing, it just didn't work out, which most of us, I'm pretty sure that 75% of people guessed that. I would say the only people that thought that was going to work would be like Lakers fans. But we knew with Russ' lack of shooting that this wasn't going to be a oil machine, and it's just unfortunate that AD, his injuries happened again, so we can't really blame AD. Injuries are a tragic thing to happen, but the whole Russell Westbrook thing, everybody thought the Lakers were going to be a super team, and they just weren't. We all knew Russ' skill set and lack of shooting doesn't complement his team. So now that the regular season is over, and we've been hearing trades left and right, LeBron has been saying things, a lot of stuff is going on. There's been a lot of talks about will Russell Westbrook get traded, and honestly, I do believe that he probably will get traded. But Bleacher Report dropped an article talking about 6 teams that could potentially get Russell and trade for Russell Westbrook. I want to come in here, react to it, see what they're talking about, see what teams could get Russell, and see how would Russell fit. Because I would say 75% of teams Russell probably wouldn't fit on due to him having to be the main ball handler and his lack of shooting. And unfortunately, people really take away Russ's greatness because of this poor season that he's had, and which is it's respectable, because you have to know and when to admit that this was really a bad season for Russ, but it doesn't take away from his legacy. It's just the older he gets, the skill set, the things he does just doesn't complement teams anymore. But it is what it is. Let's just come here, hop into it, and let's see what Bleacher Report talking about. I'm hoping some good trades, but you never know. All right, man, here we go. Shout out Eric Pinskus. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but here's the article ranking 6 realistic Russell Westbrook trade ideas for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, there's been plenty of talks about Russell getting traded. Like I said, I think he's going to get traded, but you never know. We could pretty much skip this whole first thing. Frank Vogel was fired. The Lakers suck. We all know that. We can skip that. So first team on the list is OKC's Flexibility. Russell go back to OKC. Let's see what they got to say. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the only team with significant cap space, approximately $32 million. Okay, that's not enough to absorb Russell making $44 million. That's crazy. That's not enough, 44 in June, but it will work if the Lakers took on Derek Favors, Mike Muscala. Oklahoma City is likely to climb over the cap July 1st when the shade extension kicks in. The franchise could aggressively look at, what I can say about I hope Russ doesn't get traded back to OKC, because what OKC has going on with their young players and what their young core is, I just don't see it working at all, because like I said, due to Russ play styles, a lot of teams Russ is not gonna really fit with, but Russ will be like the oldest player on that team, and I don't think he fits with the young core that they have. I think Shea is the leader of that team, and they're doing just fine without Russell Westbrook. So I'm not liking that trade, but let's go to the next one. The Indiana Veterans. Now, this is like one of the main trades that we've been seeing. It's been this trade and Charlotte. So I heard more about the Charlotte thing because the whole Gordon Hayward and he's getting paid a lot of money too. But let's see what they say about Indiana, because I've seen this one but haven't really read into it. The possibility the Lakers will pivot to Indiana Pacers Malcolm Brogdon and Buddy Hield has been buzzing since trade deadlines. Both players are nearing 30 years old. They have expensive multi-year contracts. Brogdon has struggled to stay healthy, and health was a significant problem for the Lakers this season. Yeah, especially AD, we all know, but it's not really his fault. Hield is a former client of LA general manager Rob Pelinka. Did not know that. The Lakers may have interest in Miles Turner, heard about that, who shopped heavily by Indiana trade deadline despite a foot injury. The Pacers, who sent Domantas Sabonis to Sacramento Kings, may not be looking to deal Turner, who has 1 year left on his contract, until at least the next deadline in February. Do the Lakers want to double down on the players' history missing games? Honestly, if I'm the Lakers, I'm taking that bet, because their big man core this year wasn't it. With AD wasn't playing. They had LeBron running the 5. So if you could get a backup like Miles Turner, because we know AD's probably going to deal with injuries again. So if you can get a backup in Miles Turner, I say you take it. The Pacers may not value Westbrook potential buyout candidate, but the Lakers may have a shot if he can help Indiana clean up his books. Could Los Angeles land all three? Westbrook with none, who plans picked in the 5-3 will work mathematically, but the Lakers will undoubtedly need to send additional compensation to the Pacers. Talon Horn Tucker. All I'm saying, if you package in Kendrick Nunn, Westbrook, go ahead, send Talon Horn Tucker. He hasn't played good this season. I think Lakers fans are getting up on Talon. I'm a fan of Talon, but it's time to move from Talon Horn Tucker. It's just time to move on. So I like that trade. I see a lot of pieces come from that trade. Miles Turner fits with the Lakers need. Like I said, with AD having problems, you get Miles Turner. Buddy Hield, they've been trying to get Buddy Hield forever. But I think that's a good trade for them. Who's next? Help Charlotte get dump Gordon Hayward. Now, yeah, because Gordon Hayward is making a lot of money from that, from his contract. But let's see what they say. I honestly, I think I like Gordon Hayward with the Charlotte Hornets, so I don't have a problem with it. But let's see what they got to say. The Charlotte Hornets have been overpaid off injured veteran Gordon Hayward. He will earn $30 million next season, but has a year more than Westbrook contract, 31.5. Hayward might be the rare target with whom the Lakers will have some leverage. A veteran like Gordon Hayward on Lakers, I think fits perfectly. He can create his own shot. So if we're talking about a trade for a trade money wise, I like that. With Terry Rozier, who's under contract through 2025, 26, would be enough to entice LA to take on Hayward. So they're picking up Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier. I like that trade. And if you notice, Mike, this far, I would say any trade for Russell Westbrook at this point, do it. Take your shot, because Russell on the Lakers is not working out. Not going to fit. Charlotte has a bright young core of players with LaMelo, Miles Bridges. Other names could enter the Lakers like Mason Plumlee, Kelly Oubre, or even PJ Washington. Out of these players, I say you get PJ Washington, who would be extension eligible this summer. Washington as the price too high. Yeah, after this season's play, I don't think PJ has the leverage to ask for like something too high. But hey, you never know. Hayward is talented, but he struggled to stay on the court. That is true. Okay, who's next? Houston Rockets again. This is kind of the same thing, like I said, with OKC Thunder. I'm not liking Russell coming in and interrupting like these young cores, because the Houston Rockets have another great young core with Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Josh Christopher, Alperen Sengun, players like that. They got a nice little young core. But let's see what they got to say. The Houston Rockets and Lakers discussed a Russell Westbrook for John Wall swap at the deadline, but LA wasn't willing to give up first-round picks. That stance probably won't change, but the Lakers could have interest in Eric Gordon, Christian Wood, David Nwaba. Okay, so they're talking some names here. Yeah, we heard about the Russell Westbrook and John Wall trade like forever now. If it was just that, then I would say yes. Even though like John Wall was fully healthy this year and the Rockets didn't let him play a game, which is weird to me, but I still think he could probably come in and do better than Russell Westbrook. No disrespect to Russell Westbrook. I just think John Wall could probably play a little bit better for the Lakers. Eric Gordon, vet, could help any winning team. Christian Woods, solid center. Like I said, AD's going to have problems. Injury problems is AD. So picking up Christian Wood, David Nwaba, I can see it, but let's see. That will leave nearly $95 million in salary on the Houston books, with Westbrook and Wall, two players the Rockets winning value. Buyouts in $3 to $10 million range might make that more palatable. I don't know, I can't read. But in a Westbrook swap, Houston will also clear nearly $39 million for 2023 if dealt Eric Gordon, Wood, Nwaba. Okay, Houston may find a better market for Wood elsewhere. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Christian Wood's value is definitely more than Russell Westbrook at this point. But if not, he could get the Lakers valuable scoring bigs to help offset anytime Anthony Davis misses. Yep, right there. Yep, y'all see it. Help offset AD missing injuries. Yep, like I just said, the Lakers need a center because AD is bound to get hurt. They need some kind of big that could help on the court. The Rockets would probably fight for at least a first round pick and a swap for Lakers. Yeah, if I'm the Rockets and y'all really want to get rid of John Wall, I mean, if the Lakers really want to get rid of Russell Westbrook, I'm demanding a first round pick for whatever. Because, like I said, at this point, Russell's value is at an all time low. So like they're going to demand like, yeah, I'm gonna need that first round pick from the Lakers. Then we have a path to Jeremy Grant, another trade that we heard about for a while. In July, the Detroit Pistons could have significant cap space, 20 to 38 million. The Lakers might be willing to compensate the team for taking on Westbrook, but will presumably target Jeremy Grant. Once again, I love this. I love this trade. I love this for the Lakers. Any team that Russell gets traded to, I think he's probably going to get bought out, honestly, especially if it's a team that's like a decent team, probably won't get bought out. But I love this for Jeremy Grant. If he goes to the Lakers, Jeremy Grant is an amazing player, and I think he can really help the Lakers out. He could be that small ball 5 whenever they need him to. He could also take some of the scoring off of LeBron, some of the pressure from LeBron. But let's see. Grant has 1 year left at a $21 million, and the Pistons may not look to extend him. I don't think they will. They have a young core. They're probably going to move on from him. Not like it's a bad thing. He's also likely to be in demand for other teams. How much will LA have to offer to convince Detroit to take Russell Westbrook while also partying with Grant? One future first doesn't seem like enough. Like I said earlier, once again, any team is going to demand a first round pick if they're taking on Russell and his contract. So it makes sense. A pair of firsts might be too rich for the Lakers unless the Pistons were willing to accept significant protection. Kelly Olynyk could also provide some value to the Lakers as a big with shooting range. So what we're seeing here is Jeremy Grant and potentially Kelly Olynyk for Russell Westbrook and like 2 first round picks. The Lakers might be too stingy to give up 2 first round picks, but I think with enough talking that this trade could potentially happen, and I would love it for Jeremy Grant and Kelly Olynyk. I think they could really help out the Lakers. Then we got a mutual cleanup with the Knicks. Oh, okay, the Knicks. Russell and the Knicks. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what they got to say. I haven't heard of this trade, but let's see what they got to say. Like the Lakers, the New York Knicks didn't near internal exceptions. Julius Randle didn't live up to the 20. Hey, yeah, Julius Randle, that's another conversation, but that man did not show. The second half of the season, he started to look like old Julius Randle, but he got paid all that money for what? Would the Lakers look to reunite with their 2014 draft pick? Oh, so Russell Westbrook and Julius Randle. Okay. Given his contract and positional duplication with James and Davis, that seems like a stretch. Still, New York might be open to giving up Evan Fournier, Alex Burks, Kemba Walker, New Orleans, and Cam. I said New Orleans. Wow, New Orleans Noel and Cam Reddish. Okay. The challenge for the Lakers would be to incentivize the Knicks to clear salary when most of these players have 1 year left on their deals. The latest buzz around the league suggests the Knicks aren't interested in Westbrook, but it's April and that could change in July. Yeah, I don't see any of this happening. I think the Knicks should find something else with Julius Randle if they really don't want him. They got a lot of great players on that team. They didn't live up to like the hype like they were last year, but this is a dead mission in my book. I don't think this trade will even come close to even being talked about, but you never know. The NBA is a crazy world. Then we have the last one, another option. Worst come to worst, the Lakers still have Russell Westbrook, and the same thing's probably gonna happen again next year. So, hey, I just don't know, man. With Russell Westbrook, it's a lot of things can happen with Russell Westbrook, but hey, you never know, man. You just never know. All right, man, and there y'all have it. If your team was on this list, let me know, how would you feel if your team traded for Russell Westbrook? Because like I said, at this point in his career, anything could happen. His skill set doesn't really fit like a lot of teams. Because we know Russell has a lack of shooting, which in today's league is very, very, very much needed. We seen it didn't work out with the Lakers, but no, we talked about 6 trades, 6 teams that could happen. So like, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know, is this a good article? Is it a bad article? Do you want Russell on your team? How do you feel about the Lakers season? Just let me know how you feel about Russ in general. Like I said, all time great, but maybe it's just time that Russ really has to take that step back and just, I don't know. I can't tell you, I don't know. But yeah, if y'all enjoyed it, as always, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'm gonna catch you next video. We out of here. Peace.